Welcome to the Upper Chesapeake Bay, a place you probably don't know much about. Nestled between Philadelphia and Baltimore, this area often gets overlooked. However, here you can find a blend of just about everything. Water activities, horses, farms, small towns, I can go on and on. The people here come from all different kinds of backgrounds, and trust me, they have plenty of stories to share. So after 20 years of coming down here, it's finally time that I showcase the activities, landscapes, and history that make this area very unique. So with that, welcome to the Upper Chesapeake Bay. Right now, my dad and I are out on the Elk River, where we have spent a lot of time over the last 20 years in the summers coming down here on the water, doing various activities, as I mentioned. So down here, we got a little bit of everything going on. So I want to cover that in this video and do more of a deep dive into this area, talk to some people, and give you some more insight on what makes this place very, very unique. So you might remember my dad from the videos in Bolivia and Peru. How did you find this area and what made it appealing to you at first? This was a long time ago.
Yeah, so about 20 years ago, the family decided that we'd love to have a place on the water. So I had an uncle who had a boat down on the Chesapeake, further south than here, and I started poking around and driving around, and before I knew it, I landed on this area, and it's a jewel. So we've just been so fortunate over the years to be here, and with Drew and his brother and sister and their friends and family and all the things that we've managed to do here. I just couldn't ask for a better place to spend time in the summers and frankly all year round, because it's beautiful in different ways throughout all the seasons.
So what do you like most about this area?
Well, we're out right now on a Saturday afternoon, and if you look around here, there's hardly anybody here. You know, going to the Jersey Shore, there's just loads of people and traffic and everything else to get there. Everybody in the Philadelphia area, what they know is the New Jersey Shore, which is a wonderful place in and of itself as well. But this is just an area that just nobody knows anything about, and you kind of feel like you have it all to yourself. And the beautiful thing about the upper part of the Chesapeake Bay is it's mostly freshwater. So we never have to worry about jellyfish and sea nettles and things like that. We can just jump off this boat right now and swim and not even think anything of it. And the cool thing is you have this mix of all different kinds of people.
And then what are your favorite activities? I think I know pretty well.
Well, you know, one of the things I love the most, which I think Drew's going to cover in later videos, is crabbing. You know, there's enough salinity in the water up here that the crabs come up you know, July and August, September, and it's just wonderful. You know, the blue crabs, there's just nothing like eating blue crabs, and just the whole process of crabbing.
We'll have a whole video on that later in the summer when the crabbing gets really good.
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah, because every year is a little different. The other activity that I personally love is sailing. You know, we have a couple little sunfish that I take out frequently, and you know, it's just you out on the water, no motors, and it's you and the wind, and it's just a really fun activity for me, just to relax and chill out and kind of gather myself. One of the other things that I just cherish really are the people that make up this region. I just can't tell you enough how lucky we are to have landed here in this spot with these wonderful people. And they're all kinds of different people from all kinds of different backgrounds. And I think Drew's going to probably be interviewing some of these people in the coming weeks and really highlight who they are and what their life is about, and some of them who are very, very close to the history of Chesapeake City and the Upper Chesapeake Bay. And I I think you'll find exactly what I'm talking about.
And that's what we're going to transition to right now. I'm going to head over to Chesapeake City, and we're going to talk to one of our neighbors, and she'll be able to give us a little bit more history about this area and the town, and just various other tidbits that might be pretty interesting. Okay, so now I'm over in Chesapeake City, a cute little small town here in Maryland. Behind me we have the Chesapeake Inn, which is sort of the center of all the action. So much always happening over there. But now let's find out some more about this place. Okay, so right now I'm here with Candy here in Chesapeake City. So tell me a little bit about your connection to this place, like what brought you here, your family, all of that.
Well, I grew up in Chesapeake City. I'm, through my mother, descended from Augustine Herman, who in the early 1600s was the cartographer for Lord Baltimore, who, for his payment, received Bohemia Manor, which is from Chesapeake City, basically down through the sassafras.
Okay.
Where we lived, that land was part of 1,000 acres that was bought in the early 1800s by John Randall. And John Randall really thought that was where Chesapeake City was going to be based.
Okay. And you can see that on my little map right here.
Yes. And John Randall, very interesting person, was actually the surveyor for the city of New York City.
Wow.
Then he came here. He had grand plans for the canals. They said he really thought the town of Chesapeake City would be where Randalia is, but I think the government, they ran out of money, so they stopped here in Chesapeake City.
Really? Okay. But no canal, right?
No canal.
It's a man-made canal.
Yes, it's a man-made canal, finished in 1829. It's a connection between the Delaware Bay and the Chesapeake Bay, and it saves a lot. It was seen as a major artery necessary for industrial, commercial businesses, for getting goods from one place to the other, instead of having to go out in the ocean and then
up and around, yeah.
And when your boat was going to be pulled, the barges were going to be pulled through, there was a token that you paid for, and you gave that to whoever was pulling guiding the mule, and that's how the canal company got paid.
Wow.
And then they've been continuing to widen and deepen the canal. Obviously, back in 1829, it was, I think, maybe 12 feet deep or 12 feet wide. It was not big.
Yep. And then they widened over time, and they pushed back on this area, right?
Yes. And in the I think it was in the 1960s, there was a major widening and deepening of the canal, and it actually took a whole street on the north side. This is the south side, Ron.
Yep.
It took a whole street on the north side, and it took property on the south side, including our local movie theater.
Huh. So then, because of the canal widening, this is now, I think, the second busiest or most busy canal in the entire world.
It's been the second busiest for a while. I'm not sure whether it hasn't moved up, given all of the turmoil around the Suez, which I believe is number one.
That's so interesting, because nobody would ever think that.
Right.
That it's that busy.
Yeah. Of course, it slowed down a little bit with the recent bridge incident
in Baltimore. But they brought those ships to help, that are helping reconstruct that bridge, come through here.
Yes.
In more recent years, how much of a role does the Chesapeake Inn play to this town? Because I've noticed over the years, like, that has become a really, really popular spot amongst boaters. It's really
growing. It started out, I guess before it was the Chesapeake Inn, it was the Yacht Club. I think that was what it was called. And for $1 you could be a member, and then you could buy a drink. And it was very much more casual. Then the Chesapeake Inn has done a lot to help bring in new new people to the town
Yeah.
and visitors.
And on the weekends, it's crazy. Like the amount of people. And they used to do like the Canal Day,
Yes.
which no longer
No, Canal Day
happens.
got a little out of hand.
Yeah, crazy. So many people.
Were you ever here for Canal Day?
I think we might have drove past it on our boat a couple of years, but we never like partook in it. So that we were talking yesterday about how like we're right between Philadelphia and Baltimore, but yet not many people know about like the Upper Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
What would make here appealing, like the activities around the Upper Chesapeake Bay?
Well, I think somewhat its appeal and residentially would be we're not that far from I-95.
Mm-hmm.
It's so we're easy commute to Baltimore or Philadelphia.
Yep.
Or even to the train in Wilmington if you wanted to get to New York City or DC.
Yeah, not far at all.
So
An hour from Philadelphia, an hour from Baltimore about.
yeah. Yes. And so that's part of the appeal. It's rural. I guess as the world has started to change and you can work from remotely,
Mm-hmm.
then it's pretty relaxing here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very quiet on the weekdays out on the water, and even recently on the weekends seemingly it's gotten a lot more quiet. Yeah.
It just depends.
What was it like here, like for you as a kid? Because for me it was always revolved around like the water and getting out on a boat, tubing, water skiing.
Yes.
Crabbing, all of that is.
In the summer, that's what we did when we were at the river, and there were a group of teenagers, whatever. Maybe there was 5 years difference in a bunch of our ages, and there were 8 or 10 of us. We would. There was a group called the Elk River Yacht Club, which did not have a clubhouse, but would meet on July 4th and Labor Day, and one day in the winter, and always met at someone's house. They also sponsored sailboat races, and there were class sailboats, Penguins, which were 14-foot dinghies, wooden dinghies for the most part, and we would race them in the Piney Creek Cove across the river from where we are, or we would go as a group down to Easton, or not Easton, St. Michael's or Chestertown, Oxford, and race during the weekends, which was fun. And we sort of just made our own amusement, had little runabouts and.
So the same sort of things, like on the water and whatnot. Okay. Well, Candy, thank you so much for showing me around and giving me the history lesson I probably needed.
Well, my pleasure, anytime.
All right, keeping it moving. It's now the 4th of July, and to kick off this day, we're gonna show you a little bit of the quirkiness of the people around here. We're going over to see this guy, one of our neighbors, shoot off his cannon.
He's definitely back.
Something to drink? Well, last year when we kicked out, it was raining. Yes, she's in Wayne.
Oh yeah, okay. You're kidding me.
And I am
How
not.
do you do this? I want to see.
Yeah, walk us through.
So, a jigger.
Because of the smell
It's
of it.
regular gun. Just
He said because
regular
of the smell
black
of the
powder.
And I typically use,
Where did you get the candy?
I told you, I probably have to. Now, a friend of mine gave it to me when I was leaving Atlanta, Georgia.
How old is it?
Well, oh, there's a date on that, dating it back into the 1800s.
No way.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
What if you put an actual cannonball in there? How far would it go?
Well, I don't know, and I don't want to find out because I don't know how far it would go. And if I shot it into the ocean, I wouldn't be able to see it hit anyway.
Yeah.
It takes a lead shot. And we
Barbie, don't forget your.
No, you want to ram it as tight as you can. The tighter you ram it, the better off it is. You just put that in and slide it down. All right, now put some weight, put something behind it. Yeah, that's a little higher. Who wants to do the honors of lighting it? Fire in the hole! Yeah, they hear the horn. That's what the horn's for.
Barbie, was it last year you?
Because it is a pop compared to this.
Well, your brother's really going to show you up. I mean, you can't pack it too tight. I'm going to move to play it like it.
Me too.
That's probably okay.
Fire in the hole!
Anytime you hear it, you want to come over. Like I said, you don't have to twist my arm at all to shoot it again.
Oh, yeah, we're trying to do
Thank you for that.
If I
No problem.
don't see the bottom,
Anytime.
I don't go in.
Luck to you. Exactly.
All right, that was the Canon. Pretty interesting. Now we're getting into what we're eating for dinner for the 4th of July.
All right, so what you want to do here is just open up the rack. You open up the rack like that, and then you put the chickens in like this. Kind of line them up. Kind of get them all lined up, and then you close the rack. And what did I do with the rings? I got one ring there. So then you put the ring on this side. Right.
Oh, we're going like this.
Yep. Move that poker out of the way. I made it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I made it out of stainless steel shelving.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And you have to add charcoal throughout the process just to keep the coals nice and hot.
As you go.
You know, and you just throw it in.
We got fireman's chicken here cooking up on our little fire pit down by the water. This was my dad's old recipe back when he was in his early days. Essentially, it's just some half chickens sandwiched between a rack, and then you spray it periodically with a combination of apple cider vinegar, avocado oil, butter, and Worcestershire sauce. And then you let it cook for maybe about an hour, just a slow cook. So the whole family's over, we're just sitting back, relaxing, cooking this up. And over there is my sister. Who, she hasn't been on the vlog yet. No. Introduce yourself.
No.
Come on.
Well, your go-to seems to be what, sausages. And they were strong winds. So the strong winds out of the north, what it can do is it can blow the water out.
It's become very popular.
Guatemala?
Yeah.
I can understand why. Should we?
Yeah, maybe flip it.
Ooh. Oh, look at that, huh? See that?
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Odd work.
Yeah. Be at the fire pit.
It's so convenient.
Mastermind of this all just disappeared.
I made a line right. Oh my god.
Okay. Next is a chicken.
Oh man.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys were able to gain some more insight into this area here. I'm gonna be down here all summer, so we have plenty more content and videos coming your way. Stay tuned for that wide variety of subjects. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.